What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I just wanted to talk on something real fast today. So I'm here on Black Friday working. Nobody else is here. I think some of the people next door are working. Most people are closed. When I pulled in today, it was empty. I get it. A lot of people put in a lot of hours, and a lot of people take Fridays off, and I intended to take Friday off. But the problem with that was this morning I told my wife, I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to mentally sit here at the house and survive mentally healthy without being productive today. I started going really hard at life back in about 2010. Started ramping up, and then about, I'd say 2015-ish, somewhere in there, 2016, I really turned it up and started just giving it my all, like unhealthy, obsessive drive over making my business go. And a lot of people on the outside will comment that that's extremely bad, it can lead to burnout, all this stuff. You always hear all that stuff, but normally they're not doing what you're doing. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, because in life we need all walks of life to make this world go around. What I mean by that is, it seems like when you talk to billionaires or you hear interviews from billionaires, millionaires, stuff like that, they always have the same story of just how they have worked around the clock to get to where they're at and get the money that they have. It takes a lot to achieve high achievers overwork, they use their time wisely, they don't waste a lot. And it seems like over the past 4 or 5 years, I've tried to find a happy medium. I had a couple stages in my business where I really ramped it up, painting cars, and I worked around the clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, every single night. When I first started my business, way back when I opened it, I worked 7 days a week, 365 days a year. No lie. I would get done with Christmas and I'd go back to the shop and paint every single year. New Year's night was spent at the shop. My shop and my business has been my baby. It's something I'm really proud of that I have built from the ground up with absolutely no help. No business loans. I've never took a loan out for anything. I've built everything off cash flow. And when I didn't have cash flow, just as a lot of y'all, you don't have cash flow starting out. When I didn't have cash flow, I made stuff work. There was a point in my business where we built workbenches out of free pallets that we got outside of a dumpster, and we re-straightened nails because we couldn't afford nails. So that's how I have built my business up. And one thing that I developed a very unhealthy attachment and a habit with was caring about other people around me. If you look back 5 years ago, it was ridiculous the amount of time that I would sink into one individual. Just around the clock, as soon as we got done working, go home, if they were looking for a couch and I seen a couch on Marketplace was a good deal, I was forwarding it to them. Stuff that the average person wouldn't even think about. I was thinking about these people that were around me like 24/7 around the clock, along with also thinking about myself like nonstop. Potential is not what somebody can do. So if you're a welder and you can weld, or if you're a roofer and you can do roofing amazing, and you're really fast at roofing, but as soon as 5 o'clock comes around, you're ready to go home. Your skill set is not necessarily your potential. It has to do with everything else, such as your work ethic, your motivation, your mindset, all that stuff. And I get that, but for me and just me, there was a lot of times in my past that I sunk a lot of time into other people and really got turned off when they didn't use it to their full potential. When I started this whole racing thing, if some of y'all are new to the channel, if you might not know this, and if you're older to the channel, then you might have caught wind of it in other videos. When I started this whole racing thing, I had nobody. So nobody helped me tell me how to build cars. But what I mean is how, back in the day, we would all watch Fast and Furious. And you develop this mindset that, there would be a garage where friends that hang out, and work on cars together. And it does happen for some people. Turbo John is an excellent example. Turbo John has that. So he has Brian, that whole crew. Randy shoots up there. Randy's right here in Wilmington, and he'll drive an hour or something up the road to go do that. My wife is fully supportive of me just, going off at all hours and all the time. But mentally, I don't feel right just being somewhere if I'm not actually helping or providing value, or if I'm not receiving something. So I'm a big person of bringing something to the table and not just sitting at the table. I'm either sitting at the table and learning, or I'm bringing something to the table for you. I'm not the type to just sit at the table for no reason, per se. One thing that can help you in your life, is if you, it's hard to do sometimes, but you have to disconnect from other people and really focus on you. Drag racing is a big part of my life now, that and my business. But when I wanted to start drag racing, I kept asking friends, hey, do you want to go to the track? Whenever I decided that I wanted to do the drag racing thing, I didn't know none of y'all. I didn't have no help, didn't know anybody. I didn't know John back then, didn't know Randy back then, nothing. I got in my truck, I drove an hour and 20 minutes to the lot, and I stood there on the wall at the starting line. I did this for about a month or two straight. I had reached out to John actually in a message. I reach out and just make some friends, I guess you could say, is what it basically revolved around. But again, I was trying to bring value to John's table, even in my first message. A lot of people reach out and message people and be like, hey, do you mind if you'll help me with this? And you don't even know who it is. Or, can I hang out with you? And you don't even know the person. Whereas I approach it a little different. I'm like, hey, I really like what you're doing. Can I do this for you? And in exchange, maybe I can spend some time around you and learn a couple things. That's how I kind of approach friendships, I guess you can say, is I help everybody out. If I can, it's just who I am. But when you're starting anything in life, like there's gonna be times that you have to just go do it by yourself. I mean, it was like 2 months I had been going to the racetrack, standing there by myself. I didn't even know anybody else standing around me, like everybody was there with their friends. And you know how the racetrack is, everybody has their own cliques and stuff like that. And there's a couple people that are friendly and would, speak to you and everything, but I didn't really know anybody at all, and I just kept doing it. And then I remember one afternoon, Mike decided to go with me, and we were leaving the starting line, and John was in front of us walking away from the starting line, and I had already reached out to John in Messenger, and it didn't go nowhere. And so I seen him again, and me and Mike stopped, spoke to him, and was like, hey, we follow you on YouTube. Just a real friendly conversation as we're walking away from the starting line, but I didn't ask for anything, didn't ask to hang out or anything like that. And it just went our separate ways, just because I was just trying to get my foot in the door with somebody who I really liked as a person and their program, and it felt like I liked kind of what John was doing for people and helping people on YouTube. And so we went on, fast forward. I spoke with Randy on social media. Me and him spoke in inboxes, got an invite to Darlington, whereas Randy was like, hey, come up here, hang out with us. Me and Mike hung out, and Mike went with me again that time. Mike normally doesn't go to the track with me, but he's been a couple times. That time he went with me, and we hung out with him for a few, but after their pass, when it was time to go back to the pits, most people would just walk right back to your pits with you and hang out and everything, and that's what Randy and all them invited, come back to the pits and everything. But me just being who I am, I'm not an intruder or whatever. I have to feel like I've really earned my way in somewhere to be somewhere. Me and Mike left. So it was about lunchtime, and they were like, hey, come back, we're gonna cook out, we're gonna grill out and everything. We left. We went to Burger King, we sat in the parking lot. We obviously bought our food from Burger King, sat there and ate. And after we ate, we literally walked all the way back to the pits. Didn't ask to be picked up or anything. It was a long walk from where we were at. Didn't know them at that time, and they are just over the top, friendly, helpful, everything like that. So there's nothing bad to say. It's just who I am. I'd rather just walk than to bum a ride until I feel comfortable with you. Whereas I see people all the time that just hop right on people they don't even know. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how people are friendly. But I just tick different. I don't tick like you. I don't tick like everybody else. My brain works different. My brain sees things different. And I just wanted to kind of talk on some of this, because maybe somebody will connect to this, and maybe this will help somebody move, forward. So I was speaking the other day to somebody else that wants to do YouTube, is I was like, bring value. We were just talking about how I'm the type where if I go to the table, I have to bring value with me. If I'm gonna put out a video, I have to bring value. Now I am to the point where I feel like 3,500 subscribers. I greatly appreciate everybody that we've got here. I never dreamed to get here, but I feel like now it gets to the point where there's a mixture of bringing value and just keeping your people that follow you up to date with what's going on, and including them because they are part of your family. I see everybody on here as a part of family. I promise you, you cannot find a comment that I didn't reply to. You cannot find a comment that I ignored anybody to. If you find it, it's because on my end, I didn't see it, I can't see it, it's blocked for some reason. I'll screen record it, screenshot it, and show you, because I don't let a comment go unread. Every single one of my subscribers, 3,500 or something, as of right now, I can still handle 3,000. I care about every single person. My email's always in the description. If every single person that has reached out through me an email, they can comment below and vouch for it. I have responded to, and I have helped above and beyond in any way possible. I've even gave out my personal phone number for a couple of people, spoke with them to walk through it. This paint booth, I put out a video to help one subscriber on explaining how a paint booth works so he could build his own paint booth. And that resulted in getting attention from the local local government, and the fire marshals coming in, and that video helping somebody cost me about $6,000 to $7,000 on bringing my booth up to date, and I once never complained about it. I spent so much of my past trying to help people that I guess didn't care about the help or didn't want the help, that now if I meet somebody that wants to help, I really care about help. I mean, I could be getting out in the shower, man, and if you've hit me up in Messenger and you have a question about paint or whatever, I'm gonna try to get back to you like immediately. Like before I even get out the bathroom, I'm already taking care of the replies, because I'm not gonna leave anybody hanging. It's just the type of person I am. I just don't tick where I can just leave people hanging. My phone screen at any time has no notifications. That's how I tick. Not because it bothers me, but because I don't want to miss anybody ever. If anybody needs help, I want to be there for them to help them. But being like that sometimes will just get you in a bad position, and you have to learn how to control it. You have to learn how to take that energy and really focus it in the right spot. And so what I do now in life is, unless somebody reaches out and like really has the drive, I just flat out don't care about people anymore, man. I've been burnt so much in the past of putting too much energy and wasting too much time into people that I flat out just don't care about people no more. My caring for others too much and wanting them to be millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires, thousandaires, whatever you want to call it, sometimes comes off as aggressive, because I'm very aggressive with myself. So I hold myself at a very accountable level to not be lazy, to be a go-getter, to have drive. And I can slip up real fast and care about somebody too much. Even if somebody reaches out and they need help, if you look at our text messages or our conversation back and forth, often there's more messages on my side. My paragraphs are longer, there's more messages than there are on the person asking for help. Because I'm just, as soon as it's like somebody says I need help, I'm just like, all right, let's go, let's do this. Like, I got you. And that can get you in trouble sometimes, because it leads to like a whole nother form of burnout, where you're overworking. You're not working at your business, but you're overworking other people. Like, you are trying to bring people up to the level that mentally you're at, and some people just aren't capable of that. Sad to watch that, but and some people just don't tick like you tick. So what works for you might not work for somebody else. But if somebody asks me for advice and what works for you, or what can I do to get ahead, I'm going to tell you exactly everything I got, that it took to get to where I'm at. And some of it's extremely deep mentally, and some of it's really crazy and dark, and like really just zoned into an obsessive level of wanting that success. But I firmly believe that that's what it takes, man. Like, you have to want it, and we're not going to go down that rabbit hole, because that's a long one. But I just hope that this helps somebody that's maybe struggling in life, and because I know there's some of y'all out there. I see it on my Facebook. Y'all are struggling, man, and your head's not in the game. It's not everybody else around you. It's literally you. It's your head. It's the way you think. Focus that energy into yourself, man. And some of y'all, it's just, y'all want to focus so much energy into everybody else, but then you don't even want to do nothing for yourself. And me, it was the opposite. I was dumping tons of energy into myself, and I just wanted it to flow out into everybody around me. If you recall, years back, a lot of people listened to the Drake song, started from the bottom, now we're here. And that song talked about, stepping up, getting to the top. And a lot of the rap culture, all of the songs are about taking the whole crew up with you. And that's what our business, CRC, that's what it started as. There was a whole crew, and there was about 8 heads. 6 or 8 heads, I'd have to count them off, but nobody's with us no more. Nobody's with us, and a lot of them faded out fast. Sometimes you just got to put a lot into yourself, and just not put so much into others. People will let you down fast and lead you into a state of depression, because sometimes it's not. But my whole car career is like a lot of y'all just sitting right there watching the videos. It was me, myself, and nobody else. That was it. You know, I had to do a lot of stuff on my own. There was a lot of balancing acts of a rear end, jack stands, jacks, because there's nobody there to help you. You know, there's a lot of trying to figure out how to do things by yourself because there's just nobody there, man. You're walking this journey alone. And if you need help, John and them, Randy and all them, they'll tell you. They've said 100 times, if you need help, you know, let me know. But again, it goes back to what we just talked about, where I don't feel right asking for help if I haven't brought enough help to you. I want to be at the top. I want to be at the top. I want to bring more to the table than anybody around me. So if I'm not the biggest giver to the table, I'm not going to ask for any help because I haven't earned it. You know, I haven't put in my time, I haven't earned it. I'm not really trying to ask for help. Now, I'll pay for help in a heartbeat. That's the reason why I do business with TKM. They're great, they're at the top. It costs a lot of money, but it's top-notch service. I'll message the boys at TKM or Kevin or something like that and ask for advice. Jason Braswell, he did the headers, and I've reached out to Jason a couple times and asked him for different things. But I've financially brought something to the table. I paid you for a service, and I didn't ask for a discount. I didn't ask for a discounted rate. I didn't get a discount. I paid my full way, and I'll ask for a little bit of help here and there. But even then, sometimes I'll backspace and delete a message because that's almost like I haven't paid enough money for that next question. That's just how my brain ticks. I haven't earned that next question. This has drove me a lot to go to Google, YouTube, and do a lot more research than a lot of people do. People are so quick to just ask everybody else and not Google or ask the people around them instead of that. It's just nuts. But I just wanted to kind of sit down and talk for a minute, hopefully help somebody else out. Maybe this will get your head in the right zone, and maybe if you're trying to do YouTube, when you are editing that video, you'll sit there and ask yourself, you'll be like, why should somebody listen to this? And what value am I bringing to others? If you ask yourself that, you're going to set yourself up for a pretty decent channel. Now, you're going to learn as you go. A lot of times you will say, build a product that you want to buy. My videos are my product. When I was looking for YouTube and videos on how to do YouTube or how to build race cars, I remember a lot of that stuff. So if I'm talking about something, it's because I was looking for that exact sentence in the past, and I didn't know the answer then, but I might know the answer now. So I will touch on that topic, or I will address that topic, hoping that somebody else will find it that's looking for it, because I know for a fact that there's a human being out there that's looking for that statement or that sentence, because that human being was me, and chances are that there's somebody else also. So it's just a couple stuff. Hopefully everybody enjoys their holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, everything that comes along with this time of the year. And maybe you can go on to doing great things. Maybe you can get your mind right over your Thanksgiving break, your Christmas break, and maybe you can go into next year's racing season, whether you're starting YouTube, doing YouTube, or you're trying to develop friends, or you're trying to build a car. And maybe you can get off your butt and just realize that you've got to tote this mess yourself, man. You've got to bench press the weight of the world on your own, that there's not going to be a lot of people there to help you. And quite frankly, even if there are people around you telling you that they will help you, dude, you need to try to carry that mess on your own, man. Like, use them for when you truly need help, but don't just be quick to ask for help because you're lazy. Ask yourself, is this just me being lazy and I don't want to read Google and I want to ask for somebody's help? That's laziness. Shut up. Don't ask somebody for help. Or do you really have spent nights researching and trying to find an answer and you just can't find it and you really need somebody's help? Ask that. If you really need somebody's help, then reach out to them people that have offered help. Then people will respect you more, because the help you're asking for normally is more in depth, and it's kind of, you can tell that it's genuine and that it's not going to be that easy to find. And you should just often ask yourself, am I asking questions that I can figure out on my own, or do I sincerely, I'm tapped out, I'm tired, I've tried to research it, I need help? Then ask somebody. So like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell button if you haven't. Hopefully this didn't bore y'all too much. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you like these type of videos, let me know in the comments below, because I have so much more stuff that I just do not put on YouTube because I don't want to run away subscribers. So smash that bell button. Thanks. Let's paint some doors.